Okay, so this is a segment that we're calling Here for the Comments. I'm so excited about this first Here for the Comments. And pretty much what this is like we love TV and we love media, and I'm always scrolling on Reddit. I think you've recently got into Reddit, all the different posts.
And I'm always on TikTok
or Facebook groups, or just one of the TV shows that I told y'all we love Love is Blind and we love Married at First Sight and all kinds of stuff like that. But every once in a while we'll come across a content or a post that somebody makes, and here's what we're going to do. We're literally going to be finding this stuff, and we're going to be bringing it here, and we're going to be reading it, and we are literally here for the comments. We want to know what you think about it. We want to know how you feel about it, how you respond, how would you respond to it? If it was you in the situation, what would you do? And so I think we got a good one to help start off. This is the very first Here for the Comments, and there's going to be so many more to come. So what's our first Here for the Comments?
The title is I Struggle to Initiate Sex with My Wife. Okay, it says, I've been married for 6 months now. Everything has been absolutely great. However, I have always had a hard time initiating sex. She's my first sexual partner, as I've waited till I got married, so I'm pretty inexperienced on how to initiate. I also have a hard time feeling comfortable making a move. Not because I'm not interested in her, but I just kind of feel scummy when I do make advances. I kind of assume this is due to how my parents raised me to see sex as a very bad thing that I need to stay away from in general. And it's not like she doesn't want to have sex. Where'd I go? I feel really lucky because she actually has a really high sex drive. But nothing seems to happen because I'm too scared to initiate. How can I feel more confident initiating sex with my wife, and how do I go about doing it?
Wow. Okay. First thing I noticed off the bat, number one, whoever that is, number one, bravo for being able to be, number one, be a male.
Yeah.
And be able to be that vulnerable and that open with sharing that, number one.
Oh, yeah.
But number two, it's the first thing that really, like, we talk about with church folks and church and Christianity of how sex is presented. He said he was, if I read it right, if I heard what you said right, he says I was literally raised to view sex as bad growing up. Right?
Yep.
And so it's like, if my whole life I have been told sex is bad. Sex is bad. Sex is bad. And in the same breath, wait till you get married. Wait till you get married. When I get married, there's no magical switch.
It's not.
That changes what I've been taught about sex.
Right.
To just happen and make it good. And so now he's got to deal with this trauma of this negative stigma around sex. And now he's in a relationship where it's like, hey, you got the green light. You all good to go.
You got the green light, but you still got the red light feelings.
But you still got the red light feelings. Like, I got a green light, but I got red all inside of me. And so, like, now he's conflicted. And now you got a guy who is newly married and doesn't know how to engage his wife sexually. And it's like, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reality of a lot of people who were raised that way.
Right. Because let's be honest, we were raised that way. We were raised to see sex as something you don't do. I vividly remember especially when it came to church, the only thing I saw when it came to sex was STD pictures.
I remember that. I do remember that.
I saw bumpy parts.
Bumpy parts.
That's the only thing I saw to sex. So when I thought about sex, I thought about, number one, not wanting to be promiscuous, not wanting to be considered a hoe.
Yeah,
and then I saw STDs. So what am I supposed to do with that when I get married?
Right. Like nobody has set us down. So now after you get married and when you have sex, this is what you want to do. And so now you're almost left by yourself to figure out, okay, now you can have it. Go have it.
Right.
But it's like, okay, but how do I have it? Like, how do I do this? And
like, am I just automatically supposed to be sexy?
Right. And so, like, I think, like one of the things that makes me scared is like how many Christians are out here having bad sex,
right?
And not only having bad sex, but wanting to have it a better way, but not having an outlet to go and ask somebody who will give them the right advice.
Right.
And so what happens when people don't have the proper outlet? They go to what's available. And so now you got people going to pornography.
Right.
Now you got people trying to do whatever they saw in their latest TV show.
Right.
And it's like, all right, so I'm going to try that. And it's like, hey, they're going after what's being presented to them.
Right.
And so I'm like, we got to have better options. So my heart goes out to this person.
Does.
And what I would say to them is like, how do I engage? Is number one, go back to God, bro, and understand that while your parents loved you and they were trying their best to present you pure and to present you holy, they didn't give you everything that God had to say about sex.
Yeah, they didn't.
That sex is a gift from God.
Right. They only gave you the small portion that helped them control your desire when it came to sex.
And so now that you have the green light and now you don't know what to do about it, it's like, hey, you're not alone, number one. You're not in the dark about this, number one. Like, you're not like less than or weak in any kind of way. You're just in a position now where you have the privilege and the opportunity to start this lifelong journey of learning your body, your wife's body. It's a beautiful opportunity.
And let's not leave it just at learning, but also healing the younger version of you. It's something that has to be healed and restored when it comes to sex, because we were taught that something God naturally gave us is bad. We were taught that very intimate, very almost core part of us is negative, is evil. And so we have to go back and revisit the conversation and heal all the broken pieces that were really forced into you.
And sexual freedom is a journey that you have to arrive to.
Yeah, it is. It's not like a one time, like a switch is flipped and you're whole and you're happy and you're horny.
Right. So I would tell old dude, I was like, hey man, go find you some good resources, find you some books, find you some Christian channels that will help you in this journey of figuring out how to connect with your wife. And then the most important thing out of all of it, I'm glad you like went up here and posted, but talk to your girl, talk to your wife, and let her know, because she's going to be able to have that grace in the space for you to be able to grow through that. Any issue or insecurity or whatever you have that may be like a form of how you were raised or how you were thinking, take it to her. And it's a beautiful opportunity for you and her to take something that you may perceive as a weakness, but really is an opportunity for you guys to grow in intimacy and desire and
build
love
your
for
sex
each other.
life together.
Build that thing together, man. But this is here for the comments. What do y'all think
tell us
about it? What do y'all think? How would you respond? What would you do? What has been your experience? How were you brought up? Learning and navigating around the topic of sex, especially if you were raised in a Christian context. How was it for you? This is the first. What was
your introduction to sex?
What was your introduction? That's a good one. What was your introduction to sex? This is here for the comments, and we here for what you got to say. All right, y'all, let's go. We'll see y'all in the comments.